again, you're going to need to remember who makes it, who releases it. For the most part, making and releasing are the same thing. The only differences of the hormones that we're going to do in lab is vasopressin and ADH. Okay? I mean, oxytocin and ADH, which is vasopressin. So, what's oxytocin? What does that do? Initiates labor how? By doing what? Uterine contractions. Okay? You're going to get uterine contractions. What else will it do? It's going to contract something else that has to do with labor. No. It's going to cause milk letdown. Here's the other thing oxytocin does, though. It gives us that love feeling after you have an orgasm. Males and females get this. Females get it a little stronger, right? So if you give a female an orgasm, they're like stuck on you forever. I love you, right? Guys get it too, but not as much as the females. So what does that mean? What is the target tissue for oxytocin? The uterus. What else? Mammary glands. What's the I love you organ? No. Brain. Oh. The target tissue is going to be the uterus and breast tissue and the brain. Okay? All right, vasopressin, which is also known as ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. What's a diuretic? What does a diuretic do? Makes you pee. So a anti-diuretic would make you hold in water, right? It's not that it would make you not pee. It would make you hold in water. Okay? You're still going to make urine. It's just going to be much more concentrated. It will also constrict blood vessels. So when do we get vasopressin? Why would the hypothalamus, or rather the posterior pituitary gland, release out vasopressin? In what situation do we need that? If you're dehydrated, right? If you're dehydrated, you're going to kick out vasopressin so that your body knows, oh, okay, we better keep water on. What else?
Low blood pressure.
Yes, remember that it also does some vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction paired with holding water on is going to give you, is going to help you if you have a drop in blood pressure. Okay, so you're keeping the amount of fluid in there, which will help to keep that pressure up. Plus, it'll constrict the blood vessels, which will increase the what do you call it? Blood pressure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. What time are we making it here? So what would be the target tissue for vasopressin? Kidney. Say it again? And vessels. All right, to the anterior pituitary gland. It makes a whole bunch of stuff. Growth hormone, what is growth hormone going to do? What? Yeah. It's going to help regulate growth. I can't hear you. It's going to be hot because of that. When do we need this?
As a child. Growth spurts.
Yeah, we're going to have higher levels of growth hormone running through us when we're younger, pre-pubescent. But does that mean I don't have any growth hormone running through me anymore?
Perhaps. No.
turd. Yes, I do. Not that I'm growing taller, but we're replacing cells, aren't we? So I'm not sitting with the same ball of cells that I had a year ago. They're all different. So we still use growth hormone. So what would be the target tissue for growth hormone? Is that the only thing that grows ever?
All cells.
How about everything? Yeah. Thyroid stimulating hormone. What does that do? Yes, it does. Okay, this is why this lab is so easy and it's underrepresented on the exam. It really is easy. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid. So whatever it is that the thyroid releases, which we're not there yet, we'll get to it, it's going to stimulate it. So what's the target tissue? The thyroid gland. Adrenocorticotropic hormone. You ever heard of like corticosteroids? What do they do? Yes. Because why? What do we need to do with people with asthma? Reduce swelling. Right? So adrenocorticotropic hormones actually it's basically your body's Advil. It's an anti-inflammatory response. So what's going to be a target tissue for an anti-inflammatory response?
Anything inflamed?
Anything inflamed. Right? Anything inflamed. Follicle stimulating hormone. And no, we're not talking about hair. Where else do we have follicles? Yeah, in your ovaries and in your testes, right? So follicle stimulating hormone is actually going to stimulate maturation of those cells inside the follicles in the ovary, and it's going to stimulate testosterone release. So what is the target tissue? Gonads. So ovary and testes. Luteinizing hormone. This is slightly different. Luteinizing hormone is going to trigger the ovulation, the release of those ovum, and going to trigger testosterone production. So what's the target tissue for luteinizing hormone?
Gonads again.
Gonads again. Okay. Ovaries and testes. Melanocyte stimulating hormone. What's a melanocyte? What about your skin?
Pigment.
It's pigmentation. So it's not necessarily just in your skin, it's in your hair too. Think of, I kind of back into thinking what melanocytes do by starting with an albino. Whatever's white and weird on them is where you know melanocytes are acting. Okay, so hair, irises of their eyes, and skin. So target tissue, hair, eyes, skin.
What exactly does the hormone do?
Stimulates creation of melanocytes. Prolactin. Pro means what? I am not asking you hard questions. Pro means what? What?
Good.
Pro-life. Pro.
In favor.
Four. This means four. Lactin, lactate, lactose, milk. Okay, so this stimulates milk production.